Welcome again to B207A. This is week 9. We are still in block 1. Block 1 has a main title. Do you remember the main title of block 1? What was it? Innovation. Yes, absolutely. We came to session 11, where we are going to discuss product and service design. Throughout the weeks, we discussed marketing, under the umbrella of innovation. We discussed operations management, also under the umbrella of innovation. Today, we will discuss product and service design. Definitely, product design is one aspect of innovation. When the smartphone, for example, was first created, that was a product innovation. Okay, so for product, we need a product development. So when you first have an idea about a product, you want to develop the product itself. Okay? فيعني أي منتج أنتم بدكم بدهم يخترعوه على الأول needs to go through a certain process of product design. So we have to decide about so many things, how the product will look like, how the product will work, and so on. Of course, product design has a lot of risks, because when you create a new product, you are taking a risk. صح؟ يعني في مخاطر. The risk is the product, maybe the product isn't successful in the marketplace, or maybe it doesn't fit the customer's needs and wants, or the customer's criteria. So whenever we create a new product, it has to be accompanied by a good marketing research that suggests the need for the product, because product design is very expensive. It requires research, it requires people to create something new, which has a high chance of failure. Okay, so out of all the products that we see in the marketplace, only a smaller percentage of products can make it into the market and are successful in the market. Okay, so this is today our topic. It's the product and service design. Without any development, products and services can become obsolete, increasing the likelihood that customers may switch to competitors' products. This is something that companies should always be innovative in, creating something new all the time. Now, if you think 10 years back, the products, especially in technology, the products that we used 10 years ago versus the products that we use today, there is a big difference. There is a big jump. But we don't notice the jump right away, because it happens gradually over time. But if you go back in time, you will notice that things have become much different. And if those companies did not make those changes in a timely manner, they will become obsolete. What does obsolete mean? Anyone knows what obsolete means? It means that their value will become zero. They will fail. Okay? Why will they fail? Because their competitors will be ahead of them. Their competitors will be having a higher market share. Remember these keywords. It's very important. A higher market share. Okay? Now, I want you to think of the market as a pizza. Okay? So imagine you are sharing a pizza with a group of friends. All right? And you cut the pizza into pieces. So the more share, the more pieces you get from this pizza, the higher the market share you have in the market, right? So the competitors together will share this pizza, which is the market. The market is constituted by the customers, or the money that the customers are willing to pay in this market. So the sum of money, or the sum of customers, is the whole pizza. Okay? So you, as a company, you will not be able to get the whole pizza. You will get a slice of the pizza. But the bigger your slice is, the more dominant you are in the market and the more you are successful. Okay? So this is why companies, they try to increase their slice of pizza, okay, their market share, by creating new products that satisfy the needs and wants of their customers, and also by advertising, promoting their products, and having the right marketing strategy. Okay, so one of the things that are very crucial is to always be on the edge of creating the right products. Okay, the example that I like to give here in this lesson is Kodak. Do you know the company Kodak? Anyone? Is anyone old enough to remember Kodak? Yes, on the VC, anyone? Okay. Kodak is used to be a camera and photo company. Okay, so back in the days, we didn't have the digital cameras. We had to buy a film inserted inside our cameras, take the pictures. There was no way for us to see how the picture looks like as we do today, and then take the film to a specialist that would make this film into photos. Ask your parents, definitely, they know what I'm talking about. Definitely your parents have photos at home that were produced in this way, okay? So in the 1990s and beginning of the 2000s, Kodak did not follow the trend, did not follow the changes in the market that was happening at that time, and did not jump into the digital market. Okay, they remained in the traditional old market with this film that was inserted in the cameras. Back then, Kodak insisted on the concept that people will want to have their photos physically and not on a computer. Okay, so this proved to be wrong over time. This proved because Kodak, underestimating the needs of their customers, became obsolete because they did not take this opportunity and they did not go into the digital market. Okay, later on, yes, they did, but that was too late. Okay, and this is why today they are not a dominant player in the market anymore, but other companies are. Okay, so what does new product development helps organizations in? It helps them keep a gap between themselves and their competitors. It helps so much with competing. And you know what? It's a matter of life or death for them, for the organizations. If you don't compete, eventually you will become obsolete, which means the value will become zero and the company will fail, the company will die. Okay, now also the new product development avoids competition based on price, keeping the profit margins higher. It also develops a pipeline of new products. All right, so the importance of the new product development. We have three categories of new product development. The first one is called incremental enhancement of existing products. So this means that I have an existing product like this smartphone, and I want to make some enhancements to it. I will add some features. I will improve the camera. I will improve the storage, the speed of the phone, and so on. Okay, so this is incremental enhancement. Maybe the shape, the weight, whatever you make as change. But you are starting from a certain product. Okay, you already have a product on hand that you will make changes to it. The second category is called new generation products. Sometimes the company will develop a completely new product or completely redesign an existing product based on new technologies. Okay, so if you think about the audio technologies over time, our parents used to listen to the music using this big disc. Okay, they put it and it turns. You can see it turning and turning. After that, we used the cassettes. Okay, after that, we started using CDs. So the new generation products are products that change because the technologies are allowing them to change and to make them better. Nowadays, no CDs, no cassettes. You just listen to the music on a digital device, and you can listen to any song or any audio that you want at any time. It's always available, and the whole market has changed. The whole market of how they are going to sell you the audio files or the music has changed completely 20 years ago till now. Okay, now breakthrough products are products that are so unique that they create their own new market. An example will include the smartphones or the first iPads. The smartphones are known to be a breakthrough product. It's a totally new technology that nobody has seen before. And it's just a new product that made its own product class. All right, so we call this breakthrough products. Any questions so far? All right, so as I said at the beginning, the new products, a big percentage of new products fail. It's likely that 40%, that's a statistic, I'm not sure how accurate that is. Of course, it changes year to year, but at the year that this was written, it's likely that about 40% of newly introduced products will not achieve their sales or profitability objectives. Okay, what are the reasons of failure for these new products? The number one failure is that the company cannot support the growth. The product wants to grow, but the company doesn't have resources or money to support this growth. So it just fails. The product is launched too soon. It means that the product is launched before the customers actually need it. The product does not have sufficient appeal to the market. So no need for the product. This is why it fails. The customer does not understand the product. Okay? Or there is no market for the product despite its novel feature. So starting from this slide, the reasons for the failure of new products, can you say what are the reasons of success of a product? What makes a product successful? Well, we will just say the opposite of these points. Okay, so the company can support the growth. Okay, this is the reason for a product to succeed. The product is launched on time. Okay, the product does not have sufficient appeal. So the product actually does have a sufficient appeal from the customers. So the customers are attracted to this product. The customer understands the product and how it works. So the company has made a good job explaining what the product is, the features, and how it could be used. And there is a good market. There is a good demand for the product. So just by switching these sentences from negative to positive, you could discuss the success reasons of the product new product development. So when you want to create a new product, so suppose you are now thinking about a certain product, you say to yourself, I wish somebody invents such a product, for example, that helps me study, let's say, okay? And you have a certain idea of a product that could help you study and get better grades in college. There are certain steps that you need to go through, and this is what companies do in order to create the product. So first of all, the concept generation. We need to decide on the concept. What is it that we are developing or making? What is it that we are trying to invent here? The concept screening. Okay, so you screen the concept, you make sure it goes well with the market and with the need of your customers. Preliminary design. So you make an initial design. This will be a first draft, just to try out this product, how it will work. And this is the first step in designing your product. You evaluate and you try to improve it. So you are going to try it. You will try this product and you will improve it. And then finally, you create a prototype. You create an actual product and create the final design. Okay, now these are main ideas on how you go through step by step through a process of thinking how to make a new product. Now, of course, we have disadvantages for this approach as because it's very structured. You know, people who like innovations don't like structured things. They don't like to go by the book. They don't like to be very bound to a certain way. They try to innovate their own way into the product. Okay, so the disadvantage here is not all major innovations come as a result of research and development activities. Okay, sometimes major innovations come because of a certain idea that comes to your head all of a sudden. The second disadvantage is that the screening process, which is the second step here, might eliminate very good ideas because of the perceived lack of fit with corporate requirements. So there is a risk that you miss on good opportunities on the second step. Over control of staff during the design process can limit the divergent initial stages, and it could restrict their creativity. Again, if you are always trying to make a certain process out of this, creativity will be lost. In order for people to be creative, they need to have a certain degree of freedom. Okay, they need to feel free to think anything you want and not really be bound by a certain process. Design thinking means that innovation is powered by a thorough understanding through direct observation of what people want and need in their lives, and what they like or dislike about the way particular products are made, packaged, marketed, sold, and supported. So when you think about the design of your product, you want to think, you will start with the thinking of the customer. You will start with what people want and need. Okay, so you will put yourself in their shoes. What would I do if I were in their place now? Okay, so the Apple company was extremely successful in its products because the products are very user-friendly. Okay, so at every stage of the design, those designs were made with the customer in head. Okay, with the customer in mind, that the customer at the end will be using these products. So the 6 principles of design thinking. You need to reframe ideas. So take a step back to see what assumptions you are making. Sometimes you are making wrong assumptions. So maybe you could look at the problem from a different angle, okay? Or many different angles also. Definitely you need to understand the user, what the user needs, how they will be using the product, what his behavior towards the product will be. Definitely, this is a big plus. It's a big principle for you to create the right product design. No idea is too wild. So don't think of any idea as being too crazy or too different. Actually, people do like different ideas and new ideas. Collaborate. Learn how to work with different people, maybe different departments, other people from different perspectives, because from one person's thinking alone, sometimes things are not seen very clearly. But when you get different opinions and perspectives, you get a much better idea of what's going on. Test your ideas. So after you create the prototype, you can obtain feedback immediately on how this meets users' needs. Maybe you could do a focus group. You could gather some customers, and they can try your product and tell you what they think about it. See the bigger picture. So look at the business and design strategy holistically. Look at them as a whole so that you look at the value of what you are doing in the right context. Okay, think about how this new product development will contribute to the success of this organization. How does it fit with the organization vision and mission? So for product design, the focus is very definitely on the functionality of the product and the tangible aspects of how this meets customers' needs. This is a tangible product. It's my phone. It's a tangible product. So all the focus is on how the customer will be using the product and how to make it easy for them to use and convenient and so on. When you design a service, on the other hand, designing a service that is intangible, you will think about the experience of the customer. So again here, you will put yourself in the shoes of your customer and you will try to go through the service to see how it goes, okay? So in Disneyland, for example, it's a big amusement park. Designing the service, you need to think about what the customer feels, what they encounter at each and every step of this, because in Disney, they have to accommodate a huge number of people. Okay, so making sure that people browse smoothly throughout all the parts of the park is an extremely important point for the success of the service. Okay, so functionality of the product versus the experience of the service. You want to think about what experience the service is getting your customer. Now, let's go back a little to the product design. In the product design, we have some functionality aspects to be addressed. First of all, the aesthetic. Okay, it's the styling of the product, how it looks, the functionality that has been achieved. Okay, we all know that smartphones, they always change their shapes, how big they are, how thin they are, their color. All of this is the aesthetic. Okay, it means how they look. The second point is reliability. What does reliability mean?
Dependability.
Yes, how much you can rely or depend on a product. Okay, absolutely. It also means dependability. So you don't want your phone to, for example, stop working all of a sudden. You want to have a reliable phone. You want to have a phone that you can rely on at each and every point in your day to make phone calls or to browse your apps. Maintainability. It's how easy or how difficult for you to maintain the phone in a good state. Okay? Durability is how long it will last. Okay, does it last 1 year and then you have to throw it away? Does it last 4, 5, 6 years? How long it lasts? Okay. Produce ability. Any product design that you make, you have to make sure that your factory is able to produce it. Okay, so even if you create the best design in the world, if no factory can make it for you, it means nothing to the world, right? So you have to make sure that the product is, somebody will be able to produce it for you in an efficient manner as well, not very expensive. This is included in the product design. So for the service concept, you need to understand the organizing idea. It's a statement of the nature of the service being bought. So first of all, you need to understand, again, we are speaking about the service here, okay? What is the service that I am selling to the customer? All right? So for example, in Disneyland, you are not just selling a ticket for a person to enter the park and play with your games. This is not what you are selling. What you are selling is a memorable experience. It's spending great times, okay, with other people that you love, okay, either family members or other friends. So you are not just simply selling an entry to this park, but you are selling a whole experience that should be, what do they call it in Disney? Magical. All right. So you are selling a magical experience. So this helps to identify the most important element of the overall service experience. Once you identify exactly what you are selling, it will help you so much by creating the right service for your customers. Okay. So the service outcome, designers must have a clear understanding of the outcome of the customer is seeking and how this is measured. You need to think about what is the outcome that the customer is getting. In Disney, the outcome that they need is to have fun, is to have a memorable experience, is to be very happy inside this park, not just simply entering the park. Okay, so this is the outcome. The service operation is the design of the operation itself, how people stand in line, how they are processed, how many people enter in each game, how long is the line, and so on. This is about the operation. And finally, the value of the service. The customer will compare the perceived benefits of the service against its costs. Okay? So how much did I pay for the service? The customer will compare. Was it worth this price? Because if they didn't have fun, they will say, oh my God, my tickets were totally not worth this money. Okay? So the value of the service as it's perceived from the customer's eyes, the customer experience. The customer will decide if your service is worth trying again or not. Okay, so this is the last point of the service. All right, do you have any questions? Any questions about week 9? So we just finished week 9 of B207A. Again, this is part of the innovation block.